And that's really my advice to people out there. Find something that works, still keep experimenting, still keep posting something new. It's also the way Blockbuster died. They stopped evolving.
If I can find a space where the supply doesn't meet the demand, then I'm the guy.
Because that's really what you are. You're a product. And in our case, we're delivering a service. We're entertaining you or we're informing you.
That makes all the difference. When you realize I have to create a product that people actually want. What I think is what you've done really well is that you've pivoted a couple of times. And so you were the Child's Play guy. You were kind of the Ending Explained guy, but then you crushed it last year just as kind of the movie news guy. So can you elaborate on those pivots?
And it's funny you mentioned that, because even now I'm thinking, how can I step away from the news? Because yes, it is good to be the guy, and Sean's right. It is a good way to grow, and it's a good way to build an audience there. And I still get people who comment me saying, I remember being a fan from Child's Play. Now I'm still watching, which I get scared that by always switching my niche or always switching my direction, I alienate those subscribers, and then I'm just left with a dead 20 or 30,000 subscribers who started with one thing. And now when I've changed, they're like, this guy isn't really what I want, but I'm too lazy to unsubscribe. So he'll just keep showing up in my box and I won't click. But it's also the way Blockbuster died. They stopped integrating, they stopped changing, they stopped evolving. They had the chance to buy Netflix. They ignored it because they thought that was not the way to go. And even if Blockbuster was alive today, it probably would have suffered so badly they would have needed to close because of the pandemic. And that's always my thing. When I get too comfortable, when I get too known, I get scared that I'm being trapped in a box, that I'm being put in a corner of like, oh, that's all I'm going to be known for. I got to switch things up. So every now and then I post something different. Like I tried doing a thing where it's like I react to negative reviews on Letterboxd from like really crazy people who just hate a movie because it's like, well, I hate everything Robin Williams. It's like, why are you watching a Robin Williams movie, man? But so that's always my thing, to try and change things up.
And that's what Netflix has done.
Yeah.
Netflix started as a disc by mail service. That's what they were for 10 years. And then they started beta testing a streaming service, and it was only on their webpage. And I saw it back over 10 years ago, and I was like, this is the future. There's like 1,000, 2,000 movies here and some TV shows. The selection's horrible right now. It's only on my laptop. Once they get this on multiple devices and expand their collection, this is the future. And then obviously they've become the dominant force of streaming, which is the way people consume now. And then what did they do as soon as they realized that's where things were headed? We have to crank out original content. And they've continually been ahead of the curve to where Disney is playing catching up. Disney is playing catching up with them. Warner Brothers is playing catch up. Your Peacock is only just now entering. And Netflix was like, how do we stay ahead? How do we realize where things are headed and work towards that and not get stagnant on one thing? And that's how they've dominated for a long time.
This guy's really good.
And that's really my advice to people out there, to like, if you find something that works, still keep experimenting and still keep posting something new, and don't think my channel is all success. You can go through and see the videos that didn't do as well. And that was me attempting something new, attempting something that I thought was out of the box, what might work out. And don't even be discouraged when it doesn't work that first time. The first time I did news videos on something that wasn't Child's Play, which was like all my channel was, it would bomb. It would not get any views. And you think, oh, back to my corner, back to my box. That's where I go. That's where it's safe. But I promise you, if you keep pushing that boundary, each video will at least gain you, let's say, 10 subs of people who found that topic interesting and said, you know what? I like this one. You do that, 10 more times, then you got 100 people who subscribe because of that. And it just snowballs into a larger group, because I used to be stuck to only being able to then do horror news, talking about the upcoming Halloween movie, if the Scream 5, and my Marvel videos would tank. No one cared about my comic book opinion. And now my Spider-Man videos are some of the biggest ones on my channel. And I love that community that I've grown. So it's just really about pushing and continuing that and believing that there's a snowball effect of people coming in each video, because each video you watch is someone's first video of your channel.
So I heard three things in there.
Sorry. Yes.
Three big things. No. That was all great, because it's three great nuggets. First one, keep experimenting. Even when you have momentum, keep experimenting, but realize that experiment takes time. You have to be patient with it. You can't put out one thing and go, it didn't work. I tried it once. You got to keep working with it. The way that you develop to have your one thing that works, you have to develop those other things and have patience with them. And the third one, you have to check your analytics. That's one of those things you kind of say, oh, you'll get like 10 new subs. Well, to know that, you have to check your analytics. And YouTube tells you everything. Like they tell you everything. Like who clicked, how long did they stick onto the video, and how many subs you added. And you can start to realize this subject right here only gets me 100 views, but 10% of the people that watch it subscribe. And you start to realize, oh, this is working. It's just not getting out to enough people yet. And you can dive into those analytics and you discover so much. So keep persist with your experiments, give them a shot. Don't just do it once and give up, and keep studying those analytics. And you can learn so many things. You kind of answered this in here, but how did you maintain momentum during a slow year for movies?
So luckily,
talking about 2020, that's what specifically what I'm referring to.
Yeah. Luckily, it was continuing the news, and I found something I could provide that I didn't really see a lot of people providing. And in our space, we have our movie news channels that we watch. You know, now they've there's only a few now that you can really watch, you know, and it was, you know, like the AMC Movie Talk, Collider, and John Campy and all that. But what I noticed is all of those are long form, you know, or the Schmoes knows. All long form, 2 hours long. And that's great. That's what I watch on my lunch breaks when I was at work and in between gym workouts and stuff like that. But I also realized not a lot of people have an hour, 2 hours of their day to give to solely listen. And I thought if I can condense everything that they're talking about in 8-10 minutes, I bet you I could find people who would want that. And that's where I found I can at least do a video a week of collecting all movie news, the smaller topics that if I made a solo video on, probably would not get any views. Something like when we thought it was real, the Frosty the Snowman by Jason Momoa. You know, that's something that's so quirky and weird. But if I do a solo video on that, who's searching Frosty the Snowman? How many people are actually searching up Jason Momoa that it'll get enough views? But if I combine it with a little Spider-Man casting detail, Scream 5 showing this photo, maybe I could find the right people to watch. And that's kind of what I did is just create a little show. And that's what kind of kept me through 2020. And now it's kind of a staple to my channel.
Yeah, that's what's interesting is that same logic that you used is what propelled my rankings to the next level. I started doing my rankings in May 2017 as a weekly thing, and they did good. They were solid, and it definitely doubled my growth, but it didn't exponentially grow until Thor Ragnarok came out. It was the same exact logic you used. I thought, you know, I don't have time to watch a 40-minute ranking. My rankings up to that point were kind of like podcasts. I just kind of like free form and would go for a while. And I went, what if I took this Marvel ranking and did it in 10 minutes? I would watch that. And if it's only 10 minutes, I can say better things and only the best stuff. It filters everything out. Yeah. And so then I did this video using that logic of what would I actually watch, trimmed it down. And that was the first video on my channel that ever cracked 30,000 and ended up going to get over 300,000. It was 10 times the next biggest video on my channel. And I went, oh, wait, and it's not profound at all thinking, oh, I wouldn't watch my videos, so maybe I shouldn't make those videos. That's not profound. Yeah. But at the same time, there's something about it that actually is like, would I actually watch my videos? Are my videos actually good? Are they a length that's palatable, digestible? No, they're really not. And so you just use that basic logic and suddenly you can make a much better product.
Yeah, because that's really what you are. You're a product. You're either delivering a product or you're giving a service. And in our case, we're delivering a service. We're entertaining you or we're informing you. And, you know, I try to do my best to do both. I bust out a cheesy joke here and there, or I'll bust out this green screen and do something wacky in front of it. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's the service of me giving you info, saving you the time of reading an article or reading the information out there and trying to just give you the best information. And people appreciate that service, you know, and your opinions on what movies to watch do save people a lot of time, especially for these longer movies. And if it's their first time stepping in to a franchise that has like 6 or 7 movies, they know which ones will be the good ones, which ones will be the ones that they can maybe skip or fast forward through.
Right. And I even that language that kind of that of a business mind, that makes all the difference. When you realize I have to create a product that people actually want. I have to create a product that if I can find a space where the supply doesn't meet the demand, then I'm the guy. And so just thinking about your channel, thinking about your videos as a business and as a product, as a service, it just dramatically changes everything because you stop kind of whining about the algorithm. You stop kind of feeling like, why aren't people watching my videos? Like, well, because you're either competing against too many people, so you can't stand out, so no one finds out about you, or they're just not good. You don't have a good product yet. Yeah. And I think in both of our cases, we had windows of time where we were not successful.
Oh yeah,
big long windows of time.
For numerous reasons, yeah.
We weren't successful, and then we just the right changes, the right idea clicked, and it changed our lives, changed the whole trajectory of our lives, and which is pretty cool. And for all of you watching, should always give you hope.